Hello guys, welcome. So hello guys, welcome to Ashutosh coaching channel. Now today we are going to start. The chapter name is न्यूरल कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन. चलो देखते हैं न्यूरल कंट्रोल कोऑर्डिनेशन होता क्या है. हालांकि चैप्टर जो होता है ब्रेन के लिए ब्रेन से इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसको ध्यान सुनना. ओके नाउ यहाँ रख देते हैं. लेट्स स्टार्ट. क्या कह रहा है देखो, कह रहा है यहाँ पे ये है कोऑर्डिनेशन जो होता है. कोऑर्डिनेशन इज द प्रोसेस थ्रू विच टू और मोर ऑर्गन्स इंटरैक्ट एंड द कॉम्प्लीमेंट द फंक्शन ऑफ वन अदर. ओके, उसके बाद कह रहा है फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन वी डू फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज एनर्जी demands increases for the maintaining and exercise to muscular activity as well as the supply of oxygen increases. The increased supply of oxygen increases the rate of respiration, heartbeat, and increase the blood flow the via blood vessel. And when the physical exercise is stopped, the activities nervous and lungs and heart and the kidney gradually returns to the normal condition. Neural system and the endocrine system jointly the coordinate and the integrate all the activities of the organs so that they function is in a synchronized fashion. The neural system provides an organized network of a point to point connection for a quick coordination. The endocrine system provide the chemical integration through the hormones. अब देखते हैं न्यूरल सिस्टम क्या होता है. न्यूरल सिस्टम ऑफ ऑल animal is composed of specialized cell called neurons and which can detect the received and the transmit different kind of stimuli, and the neural organization is lower in vertebrae. For example, in hydra is composed of a network of neurons, and the neural system is better organized in insect, and when the brain is present in the along with a number of ganglia and neural tissue, and whereas the vertebrae have a more developed neural system. Okay, उसका हम लोग देखते हैं ह्यूमन न्यूरल सिस्टम में क्या फ़र्क है. तो ह्यूमन न्यूरल सिस्टम डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स. फर्स्ट इज सेंट्रल नर्वस एंड द सेकंड पेरिफेरल. सेंट्रल इसमें क्या होता है देखो, समझना इसको ध्यान से. सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम and system CNS and the peripheral nervous system PNS. The CNS include the brain and the spinal cord and is the site of the formation and the processing control. The PNS consists all the nerves of the body associated with the CNS, the brain and the spinal cord. The nervous fiber of the PNS are of two types, at efferent fiber and the efferent fiber. The efferent fiber and the efferent fiber. ओके ये था. फिर एफरेंट नर्व्स जो होता है, नर्व फाइबर जो होता है, ट्रांसमिट करता है इम्पल्सेस को फ्रॉम द टिश्यू और ऑर्गन्स टू द सीएनएस, एंड द efferent fiber transmitted regulatory impulse from the CNS to the concerned and the peripheral tissue or organs. PNS is divided into two division called first somatic neural system, second autonomic neural system. ओके, उसके बाद क्या है हमारा, आगे देखा जाए तो सोमैटिक न्यूरल सिस्टम जो होता है वो क्या होता है देखो ध्यान से. सोमैटिक न्यूरल system relays the impulse from the CNC to skeletal muscle, and while the autonomic neural system transmitted the impulse from the CNS to the involuntary organs and the smooth muscles of the body. Autonomic neural system is further classified into sympathetic and the neural system and the parasympathetic and neural system. The vascular nervous system is the part of the peripheral nervous system that comprises the whole complex of nerves and the fibers and the ganglia and the plexus and the is known as the visceral nervous system, from which impulses travel from the central nervous system to the viscera, and from the viscera to the nervous system, central nervous system. And the somatic neural system relays the impulses from the CNS to the skeletal muscle, and the autonomic neural system transmit and the impulse from the CNS to the involuntary organ and smooth muscles of the body. ओके, उसके बाद हम लोग देखेंगे आगे का। तो आगे क्या है हमारा, neurons as the structural and the fundamental unit, nervous system. Neurons, a microscopic structure and the composed of three major parts: cell body, dendrites, axon. Okay, structure of neurons. The cell body contains cytoplasm with the typical cell organelles and specific granular body called granules, and the short fiber which profusely branched project out of the cell body and called dendrites. And the axon is long fiber branched at the end, and each branch terminates as a bulb like structure called the synaptic knob. ओके, उसके बाद देखा जाए तो आगे पढ़ेंगे हम लोग। बेस्ड ऑन द नंबर ऑफ एक्सोन एंड द डेंड्राइट्स, न्यूरॉन्स ऑफ आर ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टाइप। फर्स्ट है बायो मल्टीपोलर, बाइपोलर, यूनिपोलर। उसमें क्या था, वन एक्सोन सेवरल डेरिवेट्स होंगे फाउंड इन द cerebral cortex, and one axon and another dendrites and found in the uterine and of eye. And unipolar में क्या होता है, the cell body and with one axon only and found in the embryonic stage. Axon may be myelinated and non-myelinated. The myelinated have fiber are elongated with the Schwann cell, and which forms the myelin sheath around the axon, and the gap between two adjacent myelin sheath are called nodes of the Ranvier. Cranial and the spinal nerves are myelinated, and the autonomic, somatic, and neural fibers are non-myelinated, and the unmyelinated nerve fiber is enclosed by the Schwann cell that does not form the myelin sheath around the axon, and acid and is commonly found in the autonomous and somatic neural system. Polarized membrane and the resting potential. In resting phase, when the neuron is not conducting an impulse, an axonal membrane is called polarized. This is due to the difference is the concentration of ions across the axonal membrane. At rest, exoplasm inside the axon and contain high concentration of potassium plus and low concentration of sodium plus. Fluid outside the axon contain concentration of potassium plus and the high concentration of सोडियम प्लस। ओके, इसको Na प्लस भी कहते हैं। ओके, सिंबल है इसका, और कुछ नहीं है, बाकी बात वही है। As a result, the outer surface of axonal membrane is positively charged and inner surface is negatively charged. Electric potential difference across the resting plasma membrane is called the resting potential. Action potential. When nervous fiber is stimulated and the permeability of membrane and of to Na plus is greatly increased at the point of the stimulus, and rapid influx of Na plus, and hence the polarity of membrane is reserved, and now the membrane is said to be depolarized. And second number, electric potential difference across the plasma membrane at the site is called action potential, which is the fact termed as nerve impulse. Depolarized is rapid so that the conduction of nerve impulse along the entire the length of axon and occurred in the fraction of second. Depolarization क्या होता है? Depolarization is the followed by the increase in the permeability of potassium plus to the membrane leads to the change in polarization, and that is the positive charge outside and negative charge inside. It's called repolarization. Region 5 number क्या है? Region of the testing potential and taking place due to the action of potassium plus or sodium plus ATPase enzymes which transport 3 sodium plus inside and the 2 K plus yani potassium plus inside, and the expense of it on 1 ATP. It continue till the resting potential becomes 70 MB. Okay, transmission of impulse through the synapses. Hmm. Synapses. Okay, the functional junction between the two neurons is called synapses. Synapses is formed by the membrane of presynaptic neurons and of postsynaptic neurons, and which may or may not be separated by the gap is called synaptic cleft. Okay, there are two types of synapses. First है इलेक्ट्रिक सिनेप्सिस. इलेक्ट्रिक सिनेप्सिस क्या होता है? प्री एंड द पोस्ट सिनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन विथ क्लोज प्रॉक्सिमिटी एंड विदाउट एनी सिनेप्टिक क्लेफ्ट. सेकेंड नंबर है केमिकल synapses, and pre and the post synaptic membrane is separated by a fulfilled synaptic cleft. Okay, उसके बाद हमारा central neural system. The brain is the central information of processing and organs of our body and act as a command and control system. It controls the voluntary movement of balance of the body and the functioning of vital involuntary organs. Example: kidney, lungs, heart, kidney, and the thermoregulation and hunger and the thirst. Surdation and 24 hours rhythm of our body and activity of several endocrine glands and the human behavior. It is also the site of processing of version and hearing and speech, memory, intelligence and emotion and thought. The human brain is well protected by the skull and the inside the skull, and the brain is covered by the cranial and meninx consisting of an outer layer called dura mater, a very thin middle layer called arachnoid, an inner layer which is in contract with the brain use called pia mater. Okay, pia mater क्या होता है? The brain can be divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain क्या होता है? देखो, the forebrain consists of the cerebrum, thalamus, a hypothalamus. Cerebrum forms the major part of human brain, and deep cleft divides the cerebrum longitudinally into the halves, and which are termed as the left and the right cerebral hemisphere. The hemisphere are connected by the tract of nervous fiber and corpus callosum. The layer of cell and which covers the cerebral hemisphere is called cerebral cortex and is thrown into the prominent folds. And the cerebral cortex is referred to as gray matter due to the grayish appearance. The neuron cell and bodies are concentrated here, giving color, and the cerebral cortex may contain the motor areas and the sensory area and the larger region that neither clearly sensory or nor motor in the function. उसके बाद देखो, ऐसे रीजन को हम लोग एसोसिएशन एरिया या फिर आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द कॉम्प्लेक्स फंक्शन लाइक इंटरसेनरी एसोसिएशन या फिर मेमोरी या फिर कम्युनिकेशन भी कहते हैं. फाइबर्स जो होता है आर द फाइबर्स ऑफ द ट्रैक्ट आर कवर्ड with the myelin sheath and which constitute the inner part of cerebral hemisphere. They give an opaque white appearance to the layer and hence is called the white matter. The cerebrum wrap around the structure called the thalamus, and which is a major coordinating center of sensory and the motor signaling. And hypothalamus lies at the base of the thalamus. Hypothalamus contain a number of centers which control the body temperature, urge of eating and drinking. It also contains the several group of neurosecretory cell and which secrete hormones and called hypothalamus hormone. Inner parts of cerebral hemisphere and a group of associated deep structure like amygdala and the hippocampus etc. forms a complex structure called the limbic lobes or limbic system. Along with the hypothalamus, it is involved in the regulation of sexual behavior, expression of emotional reaction. Example: excitement, pleasure, rage and the fear and the motivation. Midbrain क्या होता है? Midbrain is located between the thalamus and the hypothalamus of the forebrain and pons of the hindbrain. The canal brains, and a canal called the cerebral adequates and passes through the midbrain. And dorsal portion of the midbrains consist mainly of four round swelling and lobes called the corpora and the quadrigemina, and the mid brains, hind brain and from the brain system. Hind brain क्या होता है? Hind brain consists of pons, cerebellum and the medulla, also called the medulla and the oblongate, and the pons consist of fiber tract that interconnect region. Yeah, interconnect different region of the brains, and the cerebrum has a convoluted surface in the order to the provides additional spaces for many more neurons. The medulla of the brain is connected to the spinal cords, and the medulla contains the center which control the respiration and the cardiovascular reflexes and the gastric secretion. Brain stem forms the connection between the brain and the spinal cord. The major regions make up the brain system and midbrain, pons, and the medulla and the oblongata, reflex action and reflex arc. Okay, आगे देखते हैं. The entire process of the response of a peripheral nervous stimulation that occurs involuntarily, that is without the conscious and efforts or thought the and required the involvement of a part of central nervous system is called reflex action. Reflex pathway comprises at least one afferent neurons receptor and one efferent effector or the excited neurons, approximately arranged in a series, and the afferent neurons receive a signal from a sensory organ, transmitted the impulse via a dorsal nerve route into the CNS at the level of a spinal cord, and the efferent neurons then the carries signals from the CNS to the reactor. Sensory reception and the processing. The sense organ of detect all the type of changes in the environment and the appropriate signals to the CNS, and where all the inputs are the processes and the analyzed, and signals are then sent to the different center of the brain, and this is how, this is how we can sense the change in the environment. Sense organ, we smell things by our nose and taste by the tongue and hear by ear and see object by the eyes. उसके बाद the nose contain the mucus coated receptor which are specialized to receiving the sense of smell, and the called olfactory receptor, and these are made up of olfactory epithelium that consists of three kind of cell. Neurons of epithelium extend from the outside environment directly into the air and of the broad bean sized and called olfactory bulb, which are extension of the brain and the limb system. Both nose and tongue detect the dissolved chemical, and the climate sense of gustation, taste, olfactory smell, and are functionally similar or related. The tongue and defect taste through the taste bud containing the gustatory and receptor, and which with each taste of food or sip of drink, the brain integrates and the differential and input from the taste buds, and a complex flavor is perceived. So guys, this chapter has been complete, finished. Thanks for watching video till the end. You are a part of journey of needs. So as you can, जितना ज़्यादा हो सके इस वीडियो को लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब करें. Bye bye and see you in next video.